Well, beautiful afternoon, loves. Look, I know it's not my usual attire. There's no scripting today. Well, there will be later after I get dressed. I have a few videos that I need to record for the week, but I'm sipping on some tea and was just thinking about um, like the season that we're in, right? It is a technology. It's everything is tech, fast information. And often what happens or what I see happening as it pertains to skincare, holistic wellness, herbalism, even aesthetics and massage therapy is because information is ascertained so quickly and oftentimes it's not good or accurate information. So I just wanted to come online today. It is, by the way, it's Sunday. I didn't say that earlier. It's Sunday afternoon, just before 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just wanted to come on and say, being in this arena for as long as I've been in the arena and seeing how people will pop up with what's flashy, what's next, what's new, and not seeing the harm that it causes, especially over time, that it is really impacting our communities in a very negative way. And what I mean by that is because, back in the day, I'll say, so 20 years ago or so, you had when you were, you're cleaning and we're using, I think Pine Sol was the big one. It was a big one in our house. So you have Pine Sol, you had things that you cleaned with. A lot of those things that we used were made with original oils, so original pine oils, okay? And what we're seeing now, and even though we had the little sprays and whatnot, the stuff that wasn't good for us then, it's gotten even worse now, okay, with the things that are damaging, and it matters because that stuff is impacting the adrenal glands, okay? The adrenal glands are, they sit on top of the kidneys. They impact your liver, they impact your kidneys, they impact the lymphatic system, they impact our ability to sleep, they impact skin, the largest organ on our body. So I see a lot of people having breakouts and hydranditis suppurativa or HS, PCOS, all of these issues throwing our hormones completely off. We know the food has devolved. As a matter of fact, I was eating a fruit bowl this morning and was just done. I have fresh blueberries, fresh strawberries. Strawberries aren't quite in season yet, but I got some anyway. And then apples. I bought some Cosmic crisp apples. Everything tastes like water. Apples used to have a distinct flavor. Apples tasted like apple. Now there are variations, of course, with apples. Some more crisp, some a little bit more tart, some more sweet, but it was distinctively an apple. Okay, even the clementines or the oranges that we purchase, nothing tastes like it should because everything is being corrupted and corroded and chemicalized, to death, to where our foods have no nutrition value. So, what am I saying? I came on because I'm seeing so many people post and, yeah, you can use this and do this and do that. And it's great to see people who are being genuine get back to our roots. Because if many of you know, many of the pharmaceuticals were derived in idea from a lot of natural herbs and flowers and roots, used to be. Now this stuff is being completely replaced with a bunch of different chemicals in a lab. And what's concerning is down the line when you developed all these autoimmune diseases, okay? So you have hypothyroidism, right? I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and you'll have lupus and all of these other issues in the body. you're not able to trace that back to anything because everything has so many chemicals. So I'm concerned because I'm looking at fast information, fast fixes. People want fast fixes. You have people over here going, oh my gosh, there's just not a cure for this, and there's just not this. Imagine if I said someone who I'll be 56 this year, whose mother passed away at 37 of breast cancer. Imagine if I took the position because my mother passed of breast cancer and her father passed of cancer. I believe it was prostate cancer. Imagine if I would have taken on the mindset that this is the way this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to happen, because there's no cure. There's just no cure. Okay? And I'm speaking holistically. Imagine, now we know that if you've been around any time, we know that there is a cure for the sea. There is. And so I'm of the mindset and of the belief that there is a cure for everything that ails us. Everything that ails us. There's an answer for it, whether we are aware of it or not. Your lack of awareness, your lack of understanding does not mean that there is not something out there to help or to cure or to bring wholeness into the body. Okay? So I've been seeing some things online that are absolutely concerning, right? There's a drug for this, and there's a drug for that, and there's this over here. And so a part of it, a huge part of it, is because we've been so conditioned to be consumers. We consume everything. There's not a lack of discipline. People don't stop to think, to be, to feel. If you have to be quiet and sit even with your own thoughts for more than a few minutes, it's a wrap. People don't know how to sit with their thoughts. They don't know how to journal. And we have digital journals. So now everyone's throwing up and telling everything. And there could be a time and a space for that. But there used to be a time when we journaled. And those things were sacred. Some of those thoughts that we had. And then we had sister circles, or the guys would go to the barbershop or have their other church circles, or, you know, other mentors, many, not everybody, but I'm talking about a culture shift. And so with that has come a lack of discipline and a lack of accountability. And I used to say years ago, before my first 2 pages on Facebook were stricken, that accountability is like the new 4-letter word. You say accountability, it's like somebody's cussing somebody out. You don't want to be accountable for your thoughts, your actions. And this is coming from somebody who has picked up an enormous amount of weight because of the hypothyroidism. Before that was in the gym, eating salads, juicing. Now, when I was juicing, telling everyone how to juice and filming and showing all this stuff, folks didn't want to hear it. They don't have time for it. And now, because it's like camera action everywhere, you have folks juicing, and then there's the dispute going back and forth on whether the sugar in natural fruit is the same sugar in processed sugar. We don't think. We don't understand how the body works. We don't want to be disciplined. No one wants to. It's even taking a walk. And sometimes it's because we've gotten so overwhelmed and so busy. But you guys, growing up and then raising 5 children and being in corporate, I remember working at a bank, and what we would do on our lunchtime, me and just one or two other people, because I think that building was probably 15 stories or something like that, but it doesn't even take 15 stories. It can just be three. We would go and we would walk the stairs. We walked the stairs. That's how we would exercise before gyms were a big thing. And even if gyms were in, we couldn't afford to do it. So I'm saying taking the fast route now could lead to some serious repercussions 5, even 10 years from now. There's data out there right now showing some consequences of having that vaccine that people were getting. It's coming out in what's showing up on people's skin. It is now coming out. And here's the thing, they already had the data. They already have the data, right? The hypothesis. But now people are reporting real data and having real long term side effects and issues from that stuff, as we always have. And I think I find it amazing that you don't trust the government, but I'm going to trust them with this. We're always willing to take a chance and put our bodies on the line when really, if we find out, go, I'd say I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm not saying that. I'm saying find out what's going on with you, get all of your numbers, learn which questions to ask, get in those circles, find you a an herbalist that you trust, that is proven. And my word, please leave the egotistical, big personality folks alone. Leave those people alone because there's always an agenda. Find somebody who's not constantly trying to sell you something without giving you some type of information or education. That should be the goal. We are a society that we have no, people don't even want to learn anything anymore. If it doesn't come quick, now it's AI. If I can't go to AI and ask, bump that. Never mind Google or the other search engines that have been around. I don't even want to do that. I'm just going to go to AI, ask it to build. So we're losing our ability for critical thinking, for building, for discipline, for focus. People are losing their focus. And the lack of accountability has been decreasing for at least the last 15, 20 years. No one wants to be held accountable for anything. Let me think how I want, be how I want, do what I want. And we talked, there's a video going around now, some guy banging on somebody else's door, and it could have ended very badly for that person and maybe for the residents inside if the residents were inside, but um, it didn't. And we talk about mental health crisis every single day, but you still have a lot of us refuse to acknowledge. You won't even acknowledge that you're suffering or need help. You won't even acknowledge it. So if you don't acknowledge it, you certainly aren't going to go look for it. So I know you all are asking, well, what does this have to do with skincare? And what does this have to do? Because I am a multi-lane educator first. I've always been an educator. I just educate through the marketplace. Whenever I've been in corporate, I am an educator. I educate first. So whatever I'm doing, whether it's aesthetics, whether it's massage therapy, whether it's herbalism, I can be having a conversation with my family, with my children. If you are listening, you will know and understand I'm always educating. And what I'm saying overall, I know this has probably gotten all over the place, but what I am saying is that we have got to take back the power and control that we have to be still, to discern, to dig deep and research. And I'm going to say this, my grandparents, and I'm just so, I think about it more often than I've mentioned to my family, but my grandparents had a huge collection of old books, the um, hard copies of literature and encyclopedias. Huge. And I'm so sad that I am not in possession of those today. But we used to, before the internet and before all of this easy access, we used to have to go and research our information, okay? Possibly and talk to people, interact with people, and understand their stories. And then we would have to put together a thesis. So our thoughts had to be cohesive, and so that people can follow along. But we used to have to write, and there is still substance behind actually writing. I know we can get on the computer, we can dictate, we can type, but there is still an art to writing. Okay. So I'm saying that our lack of those things being wiped out, technology is a great thing. I use technology. However, I still write. I still read quite a bit. I still research. Okay? It's important that we continue to utilize, and build on those skills. And it's important, if you have young children, to introduce them to those skills. It is not enough to get on here and just see a piece of information. I see people dropping stuff about, oh, yeah, you need this vitamin, or you need that, or you need this, without any contraindications. Okay? We want to lose weight fast. When we eat, we want to eat fast. When we even want to sleep fast. Don't sleep, and then get up 4 hours later and just keep going. And I realize a good part of our society has dictated to us, but we, the people, have the power to slow down, to rest, to process our thoughts, and to just live a better, more purposeful life. That's the other one, purpose. I can go all the way back to process to purpose, but I'm not going to belabor you all too much. I just was like, let me just get on here. I got some things I need to say, and I'll probably come back and, because I'm always thinking that usually it's 2, 3 in the morning, or I'm in the shower and then I'll hear someone getting the download. But there's just so much to be said about what is going on in our society, and never mind the current foolishness and nonsense that's going on now. But when I say slow down and really take care of yourself, we have folks checking out of here left and right and have not even lived a full life. The amount of stress that we are under, the lack of community. I saw a pastor that I follow. He said, we don't even have community. We have neighborhoods, because communities are where we control the businesses that are open in our communities. We control those. We control what comes in and what comes out, and the happenings, and we control communities. And I was like, you know what? He said something there, and I follow him and his wife all the time. I can't name him here because I don't remember. I'll see if I can name him in the caption. But Pastor Joe, he's in Atlanta. I'll find this information. But when he said that, I thought, you know what? He is absolutely right. So we talk about getting into community. We don't often talk about how to that and what's required, because it requires something of you, okay? Of us. Anyway, I hope everyone is, if having nothing else, even if you're not having the best day, I hope you're having a restful Sunday where you're able to rest. And I'm looking around, so I can see out my window over here. So just checking some stuff out. But I hope that you all are able to at least get some rest and just consider carefully when you're out here, you're eating, you're using products, just pay attention to what you're consuming. Pay attention. I'm not even going to get into what we're viewing through the eyes. I'm talking about what we're eating, what we're putting on our bodies, what we're allowing to be ingested into our bodies, the shots, the pills, it's just everything. We've got to take the time to slow down because there is someone connected to you that sees you, that loves you. They may not have the capacity right now to be in daily contact with you, but they love you and they see you. It's important, and I'm saying that to please take a moment, take some time, and consider what you're doing today will definitely impact you tomorrow. And because it's so much going on, you won't even be able to draw a line to it. You'll fall down ill, and you're going to be trying to figure out where. And the easy route, that I was going to end the video, but the easy route is to say, well, I'm getting old, or, well, it must be, something that's in my family. No, it isn't. But you can't draw a line to it because so many years have passed. But stop right now today and just take inventory of all of the things that take inventory of everything that you're doing and ingesting. And everything doesn't have to happen in snap in a moment. Now it could. Great things happen quickly, right? When we learn to be disciplined and we figure out what is going on. For instance, what's going on now with this hypothyroidism, with me releasing the weight, having zero stress is of the utmost importance. It's like number one. Number one. I've had to stop drinking coffee. I had a coffee habit that's out of this world, but it was impacting my adrenals. And so um, now I'm back on using some equipment and really working on releasing the weight, but this weight is not fat weight. This weight is inflammation. So controlling my inflammation markers is also extremely important. Okay? Everything that you see may not be what you see. Um, so just be careful. I said a lot and probably nothing at all for some people, but maybe this is why I be using, this is why I have to jot stuff down. But because there's so much to say, and then I'm talking and so many other things and thoughts are coming up. Anyway, y'all, enjoy your Sunday afternoon. If you hung out with me, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And I'll be back on the 30-day YouTube content, day 21, coming up. Enjoy your day. And thanks for taking the time to listen, even if you fast forward it.